People react negatively when they feel like freedom or options are being taken away from them. Another way of saying this is people tend to do the opposite of what they're told. The best way to ensure somebody doesn't do something is to tell them that they have to do it and then tell them exactly how to do it. Micromanagement at its best. If you're frustrated with your team's unwillingness or inability to follow a process, or if you want to improve your leadership skills, this episode is going to help you do just that. It is all about a tool called the MMDD List. Hey, I'm Todd from ConstructionLeadingEdge.com. This is the Construction Leading Edge podcast. And if it's your first time joining us, this is all about systematizing construction businesses. We're all about helping construction business owners have more freedom, have more impact, and have more wealth. We've been at this since 2014. So we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary of the podcast. So if it's your first time, thanks for joining us. If you've been listening for a while, and if you find this podcast to be helpful, if you could leave a rating or a review on the podcast player of your choice, that would help spread the word, and it would mean a lot to me. So let's jump into it. Again, this is for you if you've ever found yourself being frustrated by your team, whether you're a business owner or a leader, and you just can't get your team to follow a process. Here are some common problems. Let me know if any of these sound familiar to you. Your team just won't follow a process. They won't follow a standard operating procedure. You say things like, my people just won't take ownership. Maybe you find that when you do roll out a process or a solution, maybe a piece of software, it's almost like your people find every reason it won't work, right? They're bloodhounds for reasons something won't work. Maybe it feels like there's just chaos, firefighting, reactive mode constantly. It feels like every problem lands in your lap. You're overworked. You're working 60, 70, maybe more hours a week. And there are all these problems, but your team just won't do anything about them. Maybe you are thinking, I just need to get some new people. I need to clean house. These people just won't follow a process. So if any of those or all of those sound familiar, then this may help. So here's the old way, right? It's very possible that the problems you're dealing with are because you're going about rolling out a process or a system or some sort of solution using the old way. And this is the way I did it for 15 years of my career. I've been in the construction industry for going on 25, 27 years now. I've managed $300 million worth of projects. I owned my own business. I've run a business. I've managed large projects, small projects. And here's the way I used to do it. Here's the old way. Step one of the old way is I would go into my office. I would come up with some solution. I would go into my office and I would hammer out a solution, type out a process, create a document, create a solution, buy a piece of software. I would go into my office, go into my fortress of solitude, and come up with a solution. Step two, I would emerge from my office, sort of like Moses coming down from the mountain with these stone tablets. And I would emerge from my office with the new SOP, this new piece of software, this new tool. And then step three, I would assemble my team and I would proceed to cram it down the throats of my team, telling them, this is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to do it. This is what's going to happen if you don't do it. That's what I would do. And then step four, I would always experience disappointments that the team refused to follow the process. Why won't these people follow this process? It's a good process. It's, in fact, perfect because I put it together. I know it'll work. I know exactly what the problem is. I know exactly what the solution is. That's my job to come up with all of this. So I would always be disappointed at how people would respond. They would find all the reasons it wouldn't work. It almost felt like they were actively resisting it. And then step five, you give up on using systems because you're convinced your team just won't follow them. These people just won't follow a system. Any of that sound familiar? Well, that's the old way. And let me ask you this. What if the problem isn't your team? what if the reason that your team won't follow this process or solution has nothing to do with your team, right? Well, here are 3 reasons why your team may not be embracing your solution or why they won't follow a process. Okay, so this applies to software, daily logs, filling out timesheets, following an SOP, following a schedule, any sort of solution. There are 3 potential reasons, 3 of the top reasons why your team may not be embracing this solution. Number 1, it's a solution in search of a problem. Okay. One of the reasons that your team won't follow a solution, or they won't use a solution, they won't follow a process, is that it is a solution in search of a problem. In other words, that solution doesn't actually solve the problem, or it doesn't solve the root cause of the problem. Maybe it just addresses the symptoms. So, for example, I had a business owner who came to us a year or so ago, and he said, Todd, he was a custom home builder building $30 million worth of custom homes. And he said, Todd, my superintendents need time management training. Really? Okay, well, tell me about that. And he was convinced that his superintendents just didn't know how to manage time. And if they could, he was ready to come up with a time management training solution and then go back to step 3 in my process and cram it down their throats. And as we dug into it, it became apparent the problem wasn't they didn't know how to manage time. The problem was there was just so much chaos, and they were completely lacking a pre-construction process. The real problem was these superintendents were doing all of these activities that should have been pre-construction activities while they're doing the build process. That was the root cause of the problem. So we solved that with our nail the handoff process. So the first reason why people won't embrace your process is they know it's not going to solve the problem. It may be solving a symptom, maybe addressing a symptom, and it's just not going to solve the problem. The second reason your team won't embrace your solution or follow your process is what I call shiny object syndrome. I see this a lot. Shiny object syndrome. Maybe you just got back from a conference. Maybe you read a business book or you found some tool and you just want to try it out. You're just enamored with this shiny object and you want to roll it out to your team, and it doesn't solve a problem. It's just a distraction. And it's very possible if you were to look, I would be curious to look at your track record. How many of these shiny objects have you attempted to roll out to your team over the past couple of years? If you are a visionary type, it's very likely that you have one of these shiny objects once a week, maybe every time your team gets together, every couple of weeks, and then you get excited about it and you roll it out to your team, and then you lose interest in it and go on to the next shiny object. And it's possible that your team is saying, okay, this is the shiny object du jour, the idea that he or she is excited about, and this is going to go away, just like every other shiny object they brought up. So beware of shiny object syndrome. And then the third reason that your team won't embrace your solution is that your approach is in direct opposition to human psychology. Okay. Your approach is hopelessly opposed to human psychology. And that's why most of my processes and systems didn't work when I rolled them out years ago, early in my career. So there's a concept I'm not going to get into. I've talked about it in previous episodes. You can check it out. There's a concept called psychological reactance. Okay. Psychological reactance means that people react negatively when they feel like their freedom or options are being taken away from them. All right. People react negatively when they feel like freedom or options are being taken away from them. Another way of saying this is people tend to do the opposite of what they're told. The best way to ensure somebody doesn't do something is to tell them that they have to do it and then tell them exactly how to do it. Micromanagement at its best. So if you go back through that process that I explained that I used to use, which was step 1, go into my office and hammer out a new solution. Step 2, emerge from the office. Step 3, proceed to cram it down the throats of the team, you, like I was, you are fighting against human psychology. Humans are hardwired to react against being told what to do. Okay? It's just the reality. So, 3 reasons why your team may not be following your process. That has nothing to do with the process. It has nothing to do with your team. It's about how you approach it. Number 1, it's a solution in search of a problem. Number 2, it could be just a shiny object that you're chasing. And number 3, you're fighting against human psychology. So let's talk about an approach that actually works, right? Would you like an approach that's super simple, that will dramatically improve the chances that your team will follow this process, will reduce the amount of effort it takes for implementation, and actually solve real problems? Okay. Well, if so, then let's talk about the MMDD list. Okay. The MMDD list. The MMDD stands for Made My Day Difficult. We're going to create an MMDD list. All right. Here is an 8-step process you can use. And I'm going to challenge you to do this when we're done. Here's the 8-step process for the MMDD list. All right. Number 1, ask your team to create their MMDD list. It stands for Made My Day Difficult. You're going to ask them, hey, what made your day difficult? What makes your day difficult? What are some chronic problems that make your day difficult? So, for example, where do you find that you're missing information? Where do you find yourself getting stuck? What are situations where you can't get the answers you need, where you can't find tools or equipment? Maybe there are situations where you're not sure who's accountable for this, whose job is this? Are there situations where there are no documented processes in place? You're not sure how to do something. So what makes your day difficult? All right. And I heard this from a lady who was I believe she was a restaurant consultant. And she used this tool when she would open a new restaurant. And she put a piece of paper on a clipboard, hung it by the back door where the staff would leave, and told the staff, hey, every day you leave, I want you to look at this MMDD list and write down what made my day difficult, and just write down some problems. That's where this idea came from. So step 1 is ask your team, what made your day difficult? What are the problems? And we're looking for problems. We're not looking for solutions yet. We don't want to jump to solutions because we don't really know what the problem is. And that's a common mistake, is jumping to a solution. So we're just looking for problems. Hey, I couldn't find this. Hey, I don't know how to submit a permit application in this county. Or every time we go to apply for a water meter, we're always doing it too late, right? Maybe your remodeling crew is like, when we show up to the job site, we don't know where the dumpster is supposed to go. Or I never have the rough openings for fireplaces, for example. Just what are the things that make your day difficult? Okay, it could be invoice approvals for your finance team. It could be submittal information for your project managers. It could be your estimators. They have this overwhelming number of bid opportunities, and they don't know which ones they should focus on. I don't know what's a priority. But what makes your day difficult? You're just asking this question and looking for a few answers. Step 2 is you compile the list of answers from your team and put what seem to be the most painful problems at the top, maybe the most common problems at the top of this list. So sort them by what are the most painful, the most chronic, the most common problems at the top of the list. Step number 3 is get your team together and review the list. Print out the list, hand it off to them, say, look, this is what I asked. I asked all of you to fill out answer this MMDD question, and here are the answers, okay? You're going to get the team together and review the list. And then step 4 is to ask the team to agree on what's the single most painful problem that needs to be solved, okay? What's causing the most pain? Another way to look at this would be use the 80-20 principle, right? So 20% of your problems are probably resulting in 80% of your profit bleeds and chaos and schedule delays and frustration and 80% of the urge to throw your laptop across the room. What is the most painful problem that we want to solve? Spend a few minutes talking about that. Typically, it's going to bubble up to the top and it's going to be pretty obvious that one of these problems is the most painful. Hey, it's Todd here, and we have a couple of free resources that we want to get in your hands. First is our free training video, Get Out of Your Construction Business, How to Make It Run Without You This Year. Here's what you're going to get when you sign up for this free training video. You'll learn about the JETS thinking trap, which stands for just enough to start. That's probably keeping you stuck working in your business, and it keeps you stuck in firefighting mode, and it affects probably 90% of construction businesses. You'll also learn about the first few crucial steps you want to take if you want to spend more time working on your business instead of being stuck working in it. And you'll learn what nailing the handoff looks like and how it will help you eliminate 80% of your preventable schedule delays and profit bleeds. You can get your hands on that free video over at constructionleadingedge.com/get out. constructionleadingedge.com/GETOUT. And the second thing is a question. Here's a question. Is your business structured for success, or is it designed for failure? We found a study and found that there are 5 root causes of contractor failure, 5 primary reasons that successful contractors self-destruct. All right. This is information that we feel like every construction business owner should know about. You should know about it for 2 reasons. If you're a general contractor, 1, you need to find out if your business is structured for success. And if you're a general contractor and you have subcontractors, you may want to ask this question: are your subs structured for success or structured for failure? And if you would like to evaluate your business to see if it's designed for success, the next step is to apply for a business evaluation call with my team. We'll go through these 5 root causes of failure, evaluate your business, and then give you some pointers. Highlight the red flags, the early indicators that you may want to focus your energy on. And if it makes sense, we can talk through the details of our Systematize Your Construction Business program that will ensure it is structured for success. If you would like to schedule your free business evaluation, go to constructionleadingedge.com/apply, APPLY, or simply go to our website, constructionleadingedge.com, and tap the Apply Now button. Now, let's get back to the episode. And then step 5 is ask the team this question, all right? It's going to be very tempting to jump into solutions, but step 5 is ask the team this question, quote, what's in it for you to solve this problem? That sounds kind of corny, but you're going to ask them, hey, what's in it for you to solve this problem? Why? Why do we want to solve this problem? How will this make your life easier? What's this going to do for you, right? And there's a little bit of psychology behind this, and this comes from a book called Instant Influence. And I believe that's the title of the book. Michael Pantalone was the author. Yeah, Instant Influence. And there was one statement in that book that really stood out to me. And he said, people take action when they hear themselves say why they want to. All right? People don't take action when they hear you say why they want to. People take action when they hear themselves say why they want to. So when you ask this question, hey, what's the most painful problem? And they say, this is causing me a lot of frustration, a lot of stress. It's causing me to work more hours. Then you say, all right, why? What's in it for you to solve this problem? Why do you want to solve this? And they'll say, well, when we solve this, I'll have less stress. I can leave early. It'll make life easier. My urge to throw the laptop across the room will be diminished greatly. You want to ask that question because people take action when they hear themselves say why they want to. All right. So step 6 is once you've established what the most painful problem is, the team has heard themselves say why they want to fix it. Step 6 is spend a few minutes doing a root cause analysis. And a real simple way to do this is to use what's called the 5 whys method. And you can look this up. There are templates you can download and use, videos you can watch, but it's pretty simple. So, for example, the way it would work is you have that most painful problem. Let's say, using one of those examples that I talked about, estimators, they don't know what the priority is. So they're bidding too many jobs or getting overwhelmed. And so they would say, we don't know what the priority is. Okay. Well, you would ask, well, why is that? Or actually, maybe the problem would say, we don't have time to bid all the opportunities that are coming through. Okay. Maybe that's the most painful problem. And if so, you would ask, all right, well, why is that? Why don't you have enough time? Well, we can only bid the 4 jobs a week, and we have 12 opportunities coming in. So we're just kind of doing a half-ass effort trying to keep up with all of these things. Okay. Well, why is that? Well, we don't have enough estimators, or we don't have enough estimators to bid on all the projects. And you just keep going through this process, continue asking, well, why is that? Come up with a reason. Why is that? Come up with a reason. Why is that? And then when there are no more answers to the question, well, why is that? You have arrived at the root cause. Okay. And now you know what the real problem is. The first things that show up on the MMDD list are typically symptoms. And if you just start treating those symptoms, you could be wasting your time. So we have to get to the root cause, the underlying root cause of the problem, which is sometimes it seems unrelated. Sometimes it's sort of hidden, and we would never even see it if we didn't go through this exercise. So figure out what the root cause is. Use the 5 whys method. That's step number 6. And then step number 7 is, all right, ask the team to come up with a solution. It's clear. Here's the root cause of the problem. Let's say in this case, you arrive at, the root cause of our estimating problem is we just don't know what the priorities are. They all appear to be the same priority. Okay, what can we do to solve that? And ask the team to come up with a solution. And then to agree on a solution. Just keep in mind, it's not your job to identify the problems as the leader. It's not your job to come up with all the solutions as a leader. It's your job to lead your team through this process of figuring out what the problems are, identifying the root cause, and to lead the team through the process of coming up with solutions. So ask the team to come up with some solutions and then to agree on a solution. And then step 8 is take action. Take action and answer the 3 questions: the what, the who, and when. What are we going to do? You just establish that as the solution. Who is going to do it? And ideally, the answer to that question is not your name as the leader. It should be somebody on your team who is closest to the problem. So what are we going to do? Who is going to do it? And then when can you have it done? You're going to ask them this question. When's a reasonable time frame to have this done? How long do you think this will take you? Get a commitment from them, what they're going to do, who's going to do it, and then when they can have it done. Okay? And ideally, again, this is not you doing the work. This is you leading your team through the process of doing it. So at the end of this exercise, you should have a clearly articulated what is going to be done. It should be very clear who is going to do it. You should have a clear commitment on when it will be done. Okay? So that's the 8-step process. I'll just run through that quickly again. Step 1, ask your team to answer the question, what made your day difficult? Come up with their answers and send you those answers. Step 2, compile the list in decreasing order of pain, and what are the most painful, most common problems at the top. Step 3, get your team together to review the list. Step 4, ask the team to agree on the most painful solution. Ask the team. Step 5, what's in it for you to solve this problem? Step 6, do a root cause analysis. Step 7, ask the team to come up with a solution. And then step 8, take action, answer the questions. What are you going to do? Who's going to do it? And when will it be done? So think about this. When you've gone through this process, and you can go through this process, this can be a 30-minute exercise, could be an hour-long exercise, but it's certainly not an all-day exercise, all right? If you're spending more than an hour, you're probably going down rabbit holes and wasting time. So think about this. When you've gone through this process, you know you're working on an actual problem. right? You know that you're working on the actual root cause of the problem. The team agrees on the problem to address. The team is clear on why they want to solve it, what's in it for them to solve that problem. They're on board with the solution because they came up with it. They were in the room. Worst case, they had the opportunity to comment on it. Even if they sat in the room silently, they had the opportunity to comment on it. Best case, they were part of the process of developing the solution. You have delegated the solution. Somebody else is going to do the work. And what I found is that the team is way more likely to follow that process. They're way more likely to implement that process because it's their process. So what I found is people will find every reason why your plan won't work, but they will run through walls to make sure their plan works, right? So think about that. Think about a time in your career when a client micromanaged you, or maybe you had a boss who just told you exactly what to do and how to do it, and you were probably not very motivated. However, think about a time when you had a project where you had more freedom and you had more input on the solution. You were very likely much more motivated. You brought all of your creativity and brought the whole game to all of your energy and creativity to bear on that problem and on that solution. And that's what you want your team to do, right? So something else to think about is this doesn't just have to be a one and done type situation. This is not just a one-time event. You can make this a regular practice. Just like the restaurant consultant where I picked this up from, she kept this MMDD list posted on the wall, and the team regularly filled it out, and she regularly reviewed it with the team. So think about this. If you want to make this process a regular practice, think about, where will the MMDD collector live? Is it a physical clipboard? Is it a Slack channel? Is it an email inbox that you set up? MMDD at XYZ Construction, so that these ideas go to a place like that. It could be a Google form that you set up. There may be a place in your co-construct or builder trend admin project where your team can go, but you want to have a place where it's simple for people to answer the question, what made my day difficult, and simple to collect those answers in one place. And then decide, how often do you want to review these with your team? Is it every week, in a weekly meeting, once a month, once a quarter? Just think about doing this on a regular basis. And think about the ripple effects of this. Think about what this will do for your team, right? So for your team, what they're going to feel very likely is, okay, the boss or leadership is asking me what I think. They're asking me, it's almost like they care about making my life easier. And then not only are they asking, but they're actually doing something about it. And then they're involving me. It's like they trust me to be part of developing the solution. Okay. So your team is going to feel trusted. And when your team feels trusted, they're motivated. Trust and autonomy are two of the biggest human motivators. When we feel trusted and we feel autonomous, like we have control over our destiny and control over our day-to-day activities, our motivation goes up dramatically. And trust and autonomy are actually higher on the list of motivators than money. So keep that in mind. And think about what this will do for you. When your team is articulating what the problems are, you're getting to the root causes, your team is coming up with solutions, you're able to delegate those solutions to your team, what's that going to do for you? Maybe less phone calls, less firefighting, less chaos. If you're really addressing painful, expensive root cause problems, would you expect to see a financial impact there? Maybe. What about employee retention? If your people are less stressed and more motivated, they're probably going to stick around, right? So this is a very powerful, very simple exercise. So here's my call to action. Here's my challenge to you. 5-minute action item. This will take you 5 minutes, all right? Step number 1 is pick a date and a time to have this MMDD meeting with your team. Okay? Schedule it. Look at your calendar, pick a date and a time in the next couple of weeks and schedule it. All right? Everybody's busy. I get it. You're probably never going to find the time to do this. You have to make the time. All right. So there's a concept that I love called commit, then calculate. Commit, then calculate. What most people do is calculate. Like, well, let's see. Let's find out when's the best time to do this. Is everybody going to be available? What about this? What about this? Kind of a wait and see approach. We're going to look for this perfect time when we can thread the needle, and then we'll commit. What works a lot better is if you want to do this, commit first and then calculate. Commit, put it on the calendar, commit to it, and then you'll figure out how to do it. Okay? Step 2 is send out an email to your team and let them know, hey, we're going to have a team meeting on this date and time that you just committed to, and ask them to share with you before the meeting 3 to 5 things that make their day difficult. Hey, what makes your day difficult? We're going to have a meeting on this date and time to talk about this. Before that meeting, respond to me with 3 to 5 things that answer the question, what made my day difficult? Of course, they're answering this. What's making their day difficult? The next step is when you have this meeting, which can be in your office, can be at a job site, on the hood of your truck, it can be anywhere. Keep it simple. Go through that 8-step process that we just walked through, and then let me know how it goes. Send me an email, todd@constructionleadingedge.com. Love to hear how it goes. So take action on that. It'll take you 5 minutes to send that email out, put it on the calendar, and send the email out to your team. Hey, what made your day difficult? We're going to work on this. So if you own a construction business and you want to put the right systems in place, right? So you can either scale up your business, maybe you want to have more freedom. Maybe you want to be able to sell your business someday. Perhaps you just want to step away from your business and have it run without you. Or maybe you just want to make it more profitable. If you want to make some significant change in your business, you have 3 options, okay? If you want to make a significant change in your business or your life, you have 3 options. Option 1 is do nothing. Status quo, keep on doing the same thing, continue to get the same results. Option 2 is to DIY it. Do it yourself. Come up with your own solution, reinvent the wheel, go through the learning curve, get the lesson with the scar, and learn things the hard way. Option 3 is to find a proven system that delivers the results you're looking for. Okay, so those 3 options apply whether you want to fix your marriage, you want to lose some weight, or you want to improve your business. So if you're looking for a proven system to streamline your business and help you have more freedom, more impact, more wealth, be able to sell your business someday, be able to step away from your business, then we've helped hundreds of construction business owners install our unique, crucial systems, specifically our nail the handoff pre-construction process. It works for home builders, remodelers, commercial general contractors. It also works for electricians, concrete contractors, site and utility contractors, plumbers. Works for all construction businesses. And it's part of our Systematize Your Construction Business program. So if you want to see what systematizing your construction business looks like, what nailing the handoff looks like, and the positive side effects that come with that, the next step is to schedule your free business evaluation call with my team by going to constructionleadingedge.com/apply, APPLY, or simply go to our website, constructionleadingedge.com, and tap the Apply Now button. We'll have a business evaluation call, and on that call, you'll learn about the 5-step process to systematize your construction business. And most importantly, you'll get an objective third-party evaluation of your business to answer one big question. Is your business designed to fail, or is your business designed to succeed? So let me ask you this. If your business is unintentionally designed to fail, when would you rather find out? Now, while there's time to do something about it, or after it's too late? So this business evaluation call, it's free, and there are no strings attached, and this could be the best hour that you've invested in your business in a long time. Our schedule fills up pretty quickly, so if you'd like to book your free business evaluation call and learn about our Systematize Your Construction Business program and answer that question. Is your business designed to fail or designed to succeed? Go to constructionleadingedge.com/apply, APPLY, or go to constructionleadingedge.com and tap the Apply Now button to book your free business evaluation call. Hey, thanks for listening. If you get value out of this podcast, please share it with someone. Please leave a rating or a review. That would mean a lot to us. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.